So with the new Pirate Mercenaries coming out and the new Murloc, I thought I would take a more in-depth look and see where I think these mercenaries will actually be. So if you're excited for the new mercenaries, you should definitely watch this video for the hot takes on where I think they'll be and how good they will be. Spoilers, some of these are probably going to be tier S mercenaries. So if you're excited, let me know. And if you enjoy this, like the video, comment something down below, subscribe, and as always, stay fantastic. New mercenaries, because the new mercenaries are probably going to be pretty important for the metagame. So the main idea is they're bringing other comps in to potentially just be faster than Karen and Diablo to open up the meta. And this will probably open up the meta even more wide than we probably think, because if you counter Karen Diablo, then the game gets a lot more interesting. So like, looking at Edwin's abilities, he's already a really well-statted minion. First of all, he looks sick. He looks so good. Legendary, of course, of 500 coins to craft. Has some really good abilities. I think Assassin's Blade is definitely really strong because if you can go first, it's kind of just nuts. 5 speed is definitely not too fast, but dear God, man, it's like the reverse Samaro in a sense. And that could be very powerful, especially when it's paired up with pirates. Assisted Strike, I think, is also really, really good. And if you can actually just get the combo on it, it's pretty freaking nuts. Overall, like, I don't know about his last one. It is a lot of potential damage. If you have 2 other pirates on the board, this is 60 damage to a potential caster. But the problem with this is like it's a 2 cooldown. So, and I think if you're playing Edwin, you want to start him off right at the start. Like, you don't want to bring him in. Maybe you could. Maybe you go like 2 pirates and something else to protect your pirates, and then you follow it up with Kings. Pins bounty, that could be really nuts. And there's only 4 pirates, I think. So the density of this is not super strong. So you have to hope that like multiple pirates don't die. Otherwise, this move is not that great. The death blow is pretty good, and you're kind of likely to hit the death blow the second turn. So it is decent. This is the max rank of it though. So 2 cooldown is quite a bit. So maybe you want to bring him in after. So generally the play pattern is going to be Assassin's Blade, Assisted Strike into Kingpin's bounty if he's going first. Equipment wise, like, oh, what the hell? Okay, equipment is like Black Flag, really strong in a pirate comp. Like, it's kind of nuts. Round of Drinks is also really good because that way you don't actually even have to consider the combo. 2 speed is it's bonkers. Like, it's so strong while being immune. So you could potentially get 10. I don't know if it counts for itself. I guess he counts for himself because he is a pirate, right? So you get 15 attack and you go immune is rather insane. I don't know if the Round of Drinks equipment is going to be better than Black Flag though, but Edwin looks really, really powerful. Like, he looks really strong. I don't think you ever want even shares because again, like, I don't think the healing is as necessary as these two because this is a pretty slow ability. But God, dude, Edwin looks really strong. I'm excited to try him. Pirates can be really good because of how good Edwin looks, right? So then we have Eudora, epic, so 350 coins. So the only thing I don't really know is what a cannon actually is. Does anyone in chat right now know what a cannon is? Have we figured it out? She looks really good, and it is dependent on how good these cannons are. Because if the cannons are fantastic, they basically just, you play this one almost guaranteed because you get an extra cannon at the start, and then you attack an enemy turn 1. So Draco, do you know how strong they are? Do you know how strong the cannons are? Because it really depends on how good the cannons are for this. Because what you could do is you can go either summon a cannon on turn 1, or if you think that you're going to bring out Eudora in the turn after, you could probably start with shrapnel shot, which is really, really strong. Or you could do, all our equipment's actually really, really strong, to be honest. It's definitely like really, really good. This is a really good move though. So all her moves are really, it's just dependent on how good cannons are. If I had to take a guess, this is the permanent board placement, which is really huge. Yeah, I guess the board placement is really important. I don't know. Eudora is still a hit and miss for me because I don't know how good the cannons are actually going to be, but she looks pretty decent. Not as good as Edwin, but pretty good. It's hard to just tell. Sneeds is the one I'm probably the least excited for. I think Sneeds is going to have a place though. Epic, 350 coins once again. Buzz, deal a damage equal to your attack. So whatever this is, if you activate Saw, if active Saw, oh my God, I can't speak. If activate Saw is active, also target neighbors. So that's pretty great. So you would want to bring Sneeds in the turn after, play activate Saw, and then play this. And because of extra blades, it could be really good just to do this, but I don't know if it's actually worth it because you don't really care about the extra active turn. Titanium and Blades might be the better one. It just seems, I guess he starts with that though. I don't know. I guess if you want to start with them, it's pretty decent, but off the bench, yeah, like good against Samaro. The thing with Sneeds is like, he's very, I almost want to say like weird protector. He should have been a fighter, it seems like, but disarm is really, really nuts. He's like really, he can damage protectors really well, which is nuts. Like maybe against Diablo, he's insane because he just does so much damage. He probably wins races against like Karen and Diablo at this point then, right? I don't know about Skull Dust. I don't think bleed is that necessary. Like I'd rather kill someone than make them bleed, but maybe it's worth it. Bleed 5 is quite a bit, so maybe it's worth it. But I think on average, you probably want one of these. I could see this being very good because you go extra blades turn 1 into Buzz. Maybe that's like enough. And then you follow it up with just activate Saw. This is also good if you want to follow it off. It depends what you want to do with Sneeds. If you want to open with them, I think extra blades is better. But yeah, he seems like a pretty decent mercenary. I'm pretty excited to try him out. Mr. Smite. Now, Mr. Smite seems to be the counter to Diablo. And the reason for that is Overboard. After another friendly character is damaged this turn, gain plus 10 of health and attack a random enemy. So if you're preparing for a, I don't know, the classic Diablo move, you just play Overboard, and then Diablo's probably Diablo and or anyone else on that team is getting smacked quite a bit. Very strong. He can get a lot of health, and it's looking really good. Smite's looking real nutty against Diablo. Probably the Diablo killer in a sense. Gain taunt this turn, attack an enemy. After an enemy attacks this merc, gain plus size attack. Definitely not bad. It's a turn 1 taunt. So that's another really good reason to have Mr. Smite in your lineup. Maybe you need that. Good against Samaro. Pretty nutty. And then Smite Slam, gain plus 5 attack for each enemy with 40 or less health. Attack an enemy. This one is not that great. It's gonna feel awesome when Endurance beats the Overboard race. Well, this is what you do, right? He's a pirate, right? So you have Edwin out, and then you have Black Flag, and then you just say, good luck, Karen, you're not going to win that race. That's the play, right? So you could beat it. It's very possible. You're just going to have to play it around it, right? If we have to play around 50-50s with Karen, it's going to suck. But generally speaking, this is the counter to Diablo. But yeah, it really depends, I guess. Here's the 5-head play, actually. You have Karen yourself, and then you match their speed, and you win the 50-50, then you do it. No, that's not worth it. Anyways, he's a rare though, so it's not that bad. Looks really strong. I think the equipment he has is really good too. Sharpened Scabbard. When another friendly pirate attacks, gain plus 4 attack. This one's probably the weakest one because I don't think you want to go all in on pirates. Overboard is pretty interesting though. But again, it's super pirate based. And then Sailor's Cap, sure, definitely not that bad. But again, the problem is like how often. So I guess this move is really good if you're planning to not put him off immediately. Like if he's not in your starting lineup. So I don't know. I think he's really strong. I think he's really good against Diablo. We'll have to see how good he actually is with Karen's. But if you play with a Mr. Edwin Van Cleef, it should be fine. Okay, last but definitely not least, arguably the best mercenary here by far is Cookie the Cook. Cookie the Cook looks insane. And the reason for this is appetizers. Like gaining plus 9 health at the beginning of the game is beautiful. It's perfect. It's absolutely gorgeous. Iron Ladle looks pretty good as well, but very specific. And then Fish Feast is pretty great as well. Problem is like Death Blow, not always that great, but if you can get it, sure. I think you're always starting off appetizers though. Like it's just nutty. It's just too good of an ability to not play. Like you don't even have to start with Cookie on board. Just having plus 9 life is really, really strong. I can't imagine a world where this dude's not getting played. So I would highly expect him to be one of the best mercs in the game just because of this ability. It's just so many stats. Not a super powerful guy, but definitely really, really interesting. Yeah, the other thing we don't know right now is whatever is in Goatfish. But there's a lot of interactions. Who is bringing this up? Raven brought this up earlier. Like this move could be a lot better for your death blows, right? Because you could proc a death blow. Like if this has less than 8 health, for instance, or it has 8 health, you go Cookie and a Varden, and then you freeze their whole board. Like that's really nuts for a turn potentially, right? Like that could be insane. Procs death blows, good for Diablo. There's just a lot of interactions with this card that's just gonna be pretty good. Cookie the Cook looks really good. I think overall, like all 5 of these mercs have potential to be good. I just want to know what the cannons are like, and I want to know what the fishies are like. But yeah, that's generally what this is. It's pretty good.